Okay, so hello everyone, and this video I made to discuss Life is Strange 2, mostly discuss the endings and what each person got. Now the game, as if you played it, we try to form Daniel in the best possible way, and our choices through the gameplay really impacted on the ending that each person got. Mostly the ending everybody got was where they surrendered, but with a high morality, where Sean had to go away. Daniel grew up a normal life in America. The damage was there, so it kind of made it a little bit iffy that way. And I got the ending. If you watch the video, I got the ending where I had to choose whether to surrender or cross the border. I crossed the border with Daniel's help. He destroyed everyone, destroyed the border, and we were able to cross it. So at first I didn't know how to feel about this ending, but overall it seemed to be kind of okay for me. Although I think all endings probably they made it kind of try to make it more realistic, but I think it could have been better. I think the good ending, I mean, if you surrender, it would be much better if Sean didn't get 15 years. I think it would have been much better if he got at least 6 years. So that was kind of the reason why I didn't really agree with that ending, because honestly, through all the choices, especially if you make pretty decent, good choices through the game, and it really makes you feel that he did not deserve to be 15 years for such a long time. It's like that more than a decade, and he had to be for so long in prison. So that was not really fair, especially if you surrender. And of course, nobody would believe them. What could he say? Now, the one ending I would love if they made it, since it's a game, they could make this one ending that if you surrender, to actually show them that Daniel has the power to try to prove everything what happened was because of the power. So I don't know how the ending would have ended, but I think that would be a really cool thing if they had it. The fact that he got 15 years, it was very kind of disappointing when I seen that ending. Although he gets out, and he can also get option where Lila is there. So I assume if you called her twice, you would have got that ending. That wasn't so bad, but the ending of that ending is where they're in the woods, they're reminiscing, and Sean just doesn't seem happy at all. He's like really broken, so that was very painful to watch. We're gonna be going ahead with all the endings, and kind of I'll give my personal opinion what I think of them. I think you really would have got bad ending if, so it's kind of depends whether you surrender. When you surrender, you can get a bad ending, bad and good ending. And then if you cross the border, you can also get kind of good and bad ending. It kind of divides by that. It all depends if the choices is, like, let's say in episode 3, if Sean decides to go ahead with Finn's plan and rob Meryl, I think that would have impacted big time on end. If we made kind of bad enough choices and then we go ahead border and we finally decided to surrender, what would have happened is Daniel would not want to surrender. So that's where it would have got the worst, worst ending. I think for my ending, when I crossed the border, Daniel went ahead with it. He was really on board with me from the very start, even though I was choosing a very good enough choices though, but still Daniel was really on board going to Mexico. That's why he did not hesitate at all, and we crossed that border and we both went. I think in my case, if I would have decided to surrender, I think I would have got that worst ending, because Daniel was really on board going to the Mexico with me. I think many people got caught up with that bad ending is when they were really focused going to Mexico, and then suddenly in that moment where you had to choose to surrender across the border, they chose surrender, and Daniel wasn't up for that. And unfortunately, even though you were thinking that you are doing the right thing, surrender, but you got one of the worst endings, and I'm very sorry. It's absolute terrible ending, terrible, really. I say a lot of people who got this ending were absolutely crushed. I watched few videos of reactions of the gameplay, and they did not have a very good time through that. I'm not gonna get into through whole gameplay. It's a very, very long game. A lot of choices you make and stuff like that. Now there's one in episode 2 where you could tell when Daniel could tell Chris about the powers or protect the secret. Personally, when I had that chose screen, I chose to protect the secret because I thought that was for the best to protect it. Because how could you ever explain what Daniel had? So that's kind of messed it up and got Chris being hit by the police car. If I would have chose for Daniel to come clean with Chris and stop lying to him about the secret, basically making Chris believe that he has the power, we would have gotten a little bit different. Another thing I noticed through my gameplay as well, that I allowed Daniel, that was in episode 2, that was when Daniel was cursing and you had this little choice whether to let him curse in front of you or completely not be okay with it. The reason why I chose for Daniel that it is okay to curse in front of Sean, because I was thinking that if I choose the other one, Daniel might say, well, you curse, and so I kind of thought, I mean, if they're together and he says few curse words, that's okay. So I thought it would be okay, but through the gameplay, you start to notice that Daniel curses more. Oh, when in episode 4, when Sean was in the hospital, I actually escaped through the window because I was thinking over if he would have hit the guard or hit Joey, it would have. Okay. And I was thinking, even if Sean would have hit guard or he would hit Joey, um, it would have come back on him very badly because then he would be looking more guilty. That's why I didn't know what to do in that episode. Now that episode was very, very intense because I did not want anybody to get hurt as he escaped. That's why I was very careful with my choices, kind of like going around. I was observing everything first to make sure what would be the best. I think a lot of people who didn't escape from the window was only for the reason they thought the alarm would set off. That's what I was thinking as well. I was thinking if he would open that window, the alarm would have went off, and then I was thinking that maybe he would not escape, and we didn't know how the story would go from there. Because as I didn't watch any spoilers, nothing. I was completely clueless about the game. That's what made me think, oh my gosh, what if I open the window right now and it would set alarm and then we can't go ahead to find Daniel. So I think that's what a lot of people thought, and they were afraid that it would set off alarm and you'll be kind of trapped in that hospital. But I decided to go for the window because it felt like it was the only option. I was thinking I'm not going to hurt anyone. If I escape, I escape. If I don't, I don't. But we did. Then kind of went ahead from there. Episode 4 was the episode that I was completely happy about. I was really good with the choices, with everything. And that was episode that I had so much hope. That episode really left me so happy. Episode 3 messed me up. And actually, like I mentioned, my episode 3 didn't record the very ending. And it's probably for the best because I absolutely broke down crying. I actually haven't seen many videos people crying as much as I did in episode 3. I literally just sat down on the chair and I was crying my eyes out. And then when I realized that recording was not even there, it disappeared somewhere. So the episode 3 was very, 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 very hard. And I think the reason why a lot of people maybe reacted the same way I did, completely crushed in episode 3, it was because the choices you made good choices. You decided not to rob Meryl. You decided to completely be humble and just work and just try to go ahead with Mexico, just escape everything because it's such a hard situation. You can't explain Daniel Powers. They just want to get to Mexico. They want to stay there, possibly start a new life. That's why it was very crushing because either way, everything went to horrible events in ending of episode 3. Episode 5, it kind of gave you a little bit of a hope, a bit of positivity because you were in Arizona surrounded by people who do not judge and they know about Daniel's power and they react to it very well, not like the cult they had. they reacted like normal, like it's a miracle, it's a gift, but it's okay, and we don't need to be kind of going crazy about it. They were very chill, very, very chill, and that was good. And as they were going, and when they reached to the wall, I thought that this was it. I thought once they opened, they drive through. Of course, that's when the dipshits got us, and then it was they were brought to jail, and it was like, oh my god, is that how it ends? I actually thought that's how it ends. So I was like, oh, he got caught. Okay, all we can do is just tell what happened. So all the choices through the game, very, very hard. And I think a lot of people just, even if you chose the bad choices, like helping Finn with the plan, I think most people not intentionally thought of, oh, I'm going to be the bad guy. They just were there to survive. Maybe in their head, they were thinking that, okay, if we do rob and we take all this money, we might be able to escape. But I actually thought, no, this is only episode 3. We still have 2 more episodes. They will not get to Mexico that quick. Something is going to happen. I knew it because I was thinking there's 2 more episodes. If they decide to go with this plan, how it's going to go, because we still have 2 more episodes and they're not going to let us out that easily. So I knew it's going to go to crap, and that's why they chose it. And not only because of the episodes ahead, I was also thinking that is not good because Daniel is going to use his power to break in, and that's already a crime. And say they went ahead with the plan and it worked, it won't be good, because then Daniel would think that it's okay. And not even that, it's the fact what police would think. They would be like okay, they're like for real criminals. And the same, like I was saying, in the hospital as well, if would have attacked Joey or a police officer, then they would think, oh, okay, well, if he attacked Joey and police officer, then surely they attacked police officer in Seattle. And that's what I was thinking, that maybe if I don't attack, just try to get out the window somehow, maybe Sean will not, maybe they will let him off easily. But then when I was seeing the endings and that Sean still got 15 years, it didn't feel fair because didn't attack those officers, didn't attack Joey, really. Pretty much children were like really innocent. And I think would have been really cool in the ending. Of course, it's very hard, especially from producers making the game. It's very hard to pick choices. And I mean, if they would have made choices, probably be like 20 endings would be. So that's why I was thinking that, but it would be cool. What would be cool if you would have made good enough choices that doesn't make you look super guilty, as in you don't intentionally go ahead and attack Officer or Joey, stuff like that. It doesn't leave you looking like really guilty. Apart from Seattle, unexplainable event nobody could explain and just made Sean Daniel guilty. I think apart from this, it would be cool if you got that good ending where you surrender and Daniel gets his life, but Sean would have got at least, let's say, 5 6 years in prison. But the fact really was so hurtful that he got 15 years. And when you think about, my gosh, that's such a long time. And of course, you only know that how Sean felt knowing that he's completely innocent. So that would be completely make him feel so bad. And of course, Daniel got a good life. But what about Sean? It wasn't fair on him. It wasn't fair on him, the fact that he got 15 years. There is many, many, many things that you can say about the game. Like, I'm sure everyone can say so much. It's actual never ending subject. You can keep adding, you remember more what happened in your gameplay, and then it just never ending. Like, you for real can talk. I can. And I'm sure everybody who played have so many things to say, but it all comes down to an end, and you get the ending that you possibly, the one that impacted on your gameplay. And that's why I end up in Mexico, because I decided to cross that border. I just didn't feel that it's going to go well if they surrender. I was thinking, if we cross the border, I was afraid that one of them will get shot. I was very afraid. But like I said, in my video, like I was saying, that we are putting this hope in Daniel's power. I relied on Daniel's power to get across that border, and finally brothers can be free. I mean, start a new life, just forget everything that happened, because the journey was long. Journey was long. And surrender, I didn't feel like my option was to surrender, because I straight away thought, okay, if he surrenders, he's gonna go to prison. Maybe one of them even gets shot. God knows. They're surrounded with police. We live in a world but where the people get shot straight away. And it's scary because from all everything that we saw in our world, that's what straight away I thought. If they get out, maybe they get shot. And then, or if they surrender and they just arrest them, Sean is going to be unbelievably crushed because he's going to be prosecuted and brought to prison for basically nothing. So how scary it is knowing that I knew that they're innocent. When I was looking at the choice, I knew surrender, but you are innocent and you're gonna face so many years in prison. It's just not fair. And I know the best thing was to probably surrender. It always is. But in that case, I thought no, no, they come so far. Every choice they made was trying to avoid trouble. They were scared. They were on the run. They didn't know how to explain Daniel's power, and just to surrender to get prison. Yeah, Daniel would have got a better life, but what? Yeah, of course, have to put child first, especially Daniel, only 10 years old. But what about Sean? 15 years or even more, maybe jail for life. That's what he didn't get it, but that's what could have happened. It's like just not fair. They are innocent. Their goal was going to Mexico, and I decided to stick with it. Now, the ending, I felt a bit off first about my ending. I really felt it could have been a bit better. And the fact I thought it could have been better in a way that if they go to Mexico, they would have formed that like a better life, as in have a better renovated house, more kind of happy. Of course they're still fugitives, they can't go back to America, stuff like that, but it would have been cool if they showed that they made it, still be known as guilty, but especially knowing that they have a power. Grandparents know it. Other people know it. Now, when they cross the border, police know it. So possibly somebody could have survived or look by the cameras. Maybe they seen, wow, this boy actually has a power. He was so desperate to remove everybody and go to the border because of the because of the fair, how to say it, being afraid, fear, Fear, fear. Because of the fear, they were so afraid. They had to desperately get to Mexico. And maybe then they would think, okay, it still doesn't mean it's right what they did, but it's unexplainable. We can't put these kids in a prison, kind of that way. And then I was hoping as well, I really hope that if they get to Mexico, they would have got this better ending, as in like, we ran, your power we cannot explain, but we had to run away, we tried to survive, and we reached to that border. And then maybe friends would visit and finally understand, oh my gosh, yeah, like Lila, she would visit them in Mexico and she'd be like, I had no idea about Daniel, stuff like that. I mean, it's probably never ending of the choices of the endings that they could have made, but I think some of them were really unfair kind of way, but they made it like they made it. Everybody has their own opinions, and overall not going to say anything bad because the game is amazing, but the endings just crushing. And not so bad, but I mean the one where if you decide to surrender and then Daniel doesn't want to surrender. Now that is one of the worst endings you can get, and I am so sorry for the people who got this ending. It's absolutely crushing. I seen actually one girl, I don't remember her name, but she was playing and she was absolutely crying, and I would be too. If I would have got that ending, I would never get over this gameplay. I would never get over. I would never get over. I would be crushed if I got that ending. It's absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible. And like I said, people who got that bad ending was the fact they were put to on their mindset to go to Mexico and then suddenly decide to surrender, and Daniel saying no, and that's when it happened. So it's a very, very bad ending. I wish they didn't have this ending because it's crushing, and it really probably even messed up a few people because you get so tuned in into this game, and then suddenly if you get that ending, it just, oh gosh, how is your well-being doing, like it's a game. I know at the end of the day it's a game, but still it has a very huge emotional impact on those who play. Enough talking. I kind of gave my opinion. I'm not sure how long this video is. I hope you're still here with me. Really, this is one of the subjects that interests me so much. All Life is Strange games. It's just this one has impacted on me much more than Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm. So let's watch of the endings. I'm going to give it opinion on each of them. Surrender, high morality. So I think this ending, many people got it. I think there's very few people who actually decide to cross the border.
Sean, what are we gonna do?
Sean! Sean Diaz! It's over! Don't make this worse! Get out of the car! Slow! With your head above your head! Do exactly what I say!
When he turned off the engine, I was like, that's it. This is how it's gonna end. But no, we had the big choice.
You know that day in Seattle? The day Dad was shot? I think about it every day. And I would give anything to change what happened. But I can't. I'm sorry for my mistakes. I tried my best. I swear.
Sean.
Daniel knows that every choice we made,
I'm
a
so
lot of
proud
people
of you,
made,
Nano. Just like Dad would be.
tried to be for the best.
We both learned a lot together. But you can make your own rules now. If we surrender, they will separate us, Daniel. And if that happens, promise me that you will always do the right thing, okay? Don't waste your power. Be smart like you already are.
I don't want to be separated.
Hear me out! Please! Don't make any more mistakes!
Whatever happens,
Too late to surrender.
always remember that you're Daniel Diaz.
I hate promises.
Sean, you
I'll
know
try.
this is not a trap. You can trust me. Please, get out of the car. Come on. There's no way out.
Oh, there
This
is.
is our last
So,
warning. Listen up.
how does the story of the Wolf Brothers end?
Yeah, this is the moment we all
Out of the
hated.
car. Now.
A lot of people chose very quickly, straight away surrender, but a lot of people also had to think about it very hard before pressing the
I-
answer.
I think their story ends right here.
Here? But I could. I get it. That's not who we are.
Exactly. We're not criminals. We're just kids. And we still have time to choose what life we want to live.
I do
You're my
agree.
brother,
I do agree with this, yeah.
and I love you.
I love you too, Sean.
It's gonna be alright. I promise.
Really? How do you know?
Because we're doing the right thing. Just try and remember what I taught you. I mean, only the good shit.
I will. I swear.
On your knees! I said on your knees now!
I'm sorry about all this. We're gonna look after your brother. That's my word.
But he knows that he's not going to be doing so
Okay,
well.
he's ready.
Sean! No! Sean!
Come back! He's gonna be fine.
Daniel! You're not a little wolf anymore. Never forget who you are. Never.
So this is the part where he lives with the grandparents. Of course, he doesn't look happy in this picture, but this is just as he got with the grandparents. That's when the Sean is going into prison. And it's good that he got reunited with Chris, because I'm sure they both were really happy about this, but it's just for Sean very bad. And it shows Sean's name, so I assume he did the drawing. And there's Daniel, he's graduating, which shows happy kind of ending for Daniel. And in this picture, I assume that's Daniel, yeah, Chris, that's David, right? Maybe Lila, or I'm not sure, but that's the group anyways. And that's quite possibly Sean's drawing. And Daniel got the job. I mean, Daniel ending it shows very positive, and as you see, many years come by and he moved out. "15 years after the events at the border," which is really feels unfair for Sean. 15 years, you know, because him practically being innocent and getting 15 years, it's brutal. A long time, you know, very, very long time. But he's free now, but he's still lost a lot of years, you know. 15 years is a very, very long time. And I think this is the kind of not such a good part in this ending, because it would be so much better if he got like 6 years or something. I don't know, 5 years maybe, you know, not so bad, but 15, it's... And there it shows the woods. This is pretty much where the journey began. They went through these woods. They revisiting when he got himself fixable or something for the eye. And as you can see by Sean's face, it feels like it's very difficult for him to go there. They're going to the place where we went at the very start when they were escaping. And this is first where they were camping. And you can see that Sean's So this part is, it just feels like in this ending something missing, especially in here. They kind of, it feels like the bond is strong, but it's not like, because Sean missed out so much and they just went separate ways and it doesn't show anything more to it. So it's only kind of for your imagination of what's going to happen after. But it feels like the closeness that they had, like it's of course there, but it went really wrong once they surrendered, especially for Sean kind of way. For Daniel, yeah, but for Sean, no. Lila at Sean's release. I like this one because that will give you more imagination at the ending, knowing that Sean is still gonna be like friends with Lila. And I assume you'd get this ending if you called her twice. I actually didn't even see the phone, and I wasn't thinking of it because we were specifically told not to call, so I kind of followed those rules. It still probably won't make a difference because I still would have went across the border. This one feels more positive, especially Lila being there. It kind of gives you more imagination of what kind of continues on. Yeah, this one is much more better. I prefer this one than the one without Lila. But this one feels much more happier, knowing that she's here as well now. That means she will get in touch with Sean and everything that he went through. Lone wolf.
So,
Surrender, lone
how does the
wolf.
story of the Wolf brothers end?
Step out of the car! Now!
I think their story ends right here.
But no, no.
Daniel, come on.
So we went all this way, all that shit for nothing.
That's what makes me
You
wonder,
told me.
would I
We're going
get
to
this
Mexico.
ending if I surrendered?
You said.
We're done. The end. It's not who we are.
Now it's my turn to take care of us, Sean. Nothing can stop the Wolf brothers.
What?
Daniel! No! Stop!
Shoot! Shoot!
Open fire!
Sean! You see that? Mexico, look! We made it! Sean? Sean!
I think this one is 100% the worst ending.
Oh no, no! Please don't! Sean! Why? Why?
I really feel sorry for everyone who got this ending. You probably didn't expect it, and maybe I would have got it as well if I would have surrendered. I don't know, but I think you'd be thinking you're doing the right thing. But then it gives you this ending, and I think this ending shouldn't even be. I think it messed up a lot of people who got it, and no, this one is no for sure. It shouldn't even make it because it's just so tragic. But as you can see, Daniel went ahead going to the Mexico. And he's here with a wrestler, I guess that is. then he used his power. Mash bank. 1 million, I guess it means 1 million is missing. Not sure what that is. And a phone number. That's the 6 years after the event. So you see, it'd be better if they gave 6 years to Sean. Daniel is just feeling so guilty that he's even drawing, because Sean was drawing all the time. And you can see by Daniel how he looks that he did not grow up well at all. He looks more on a kind of criminal side. Oh, it's awful. This ending is the worst. And this ending, I think, when you chose to surrender, Daniel did, like it showed, Daniel did not want it to. And I think by your choices, if you're really set your way to go to Mexico like I did, and then if suddenly you decide to surrender, you would for sure get this ending. And I think this might be the ending I would have got if I surrendered. I think so. It's hard to tell. You see, it's really hard to tell, especially when you're making good choices. But I think because Sean and Daniel got too very close together, this was the part that he did not want to surrender. He wanted them to go, but of course it went really tragic. I think, personally, I think this ending shouldn't even exist. It's terrible. He made like a little grave for Sean, you know, like a memory with everything that belongs to Sean. Few things, yeah. Tragic. He's like real outcast inside. He's done with everybody, as you can see here. He's done. And he's asking him, as you can see, begging him to spare him. And he does spare him, so Daniel still has humanity left. And I think it's mostly he spared him because of the Sean, because Sean wouldn't hurt anyone, he would spare people. And I think that's what Daniel has in his mind. There's still humanity left, but he's like done with everything. And he's just guilt, yeah. Awful ending. I'm really feeling sorry for everyone who loved it. It's the worst, one of the worst endings it shouldn't even have. Parting ways.
So,
Cross the border. High
how does the
morality.
story of the Wolf brothers end?
Step out of the car! Now!
Sean decides to cross the border.
They make it to the other side.
What? You sure?
Trust me, okay? Just get us through. Hold on tight.
Daniel is not on
I
board.
don't wanna! I'm not hurting anyone else! Sean!
Open
Stop
fire!
them!
It's too late! They're shooting at us, Daniel! This is the only way!
I'm sorry, Sean, but I have to go.
What? What are you talking about?
Don't turn back for me. I hope you'll be happy in Mexico.
This one I don't like as well, because they separate, and that is the worst. You can only imagine how Sean feels right now, knowing that his brother is at the end of the border and he's just left. But this one is really bad as well from here. And the fact that he actually got handcuffed as well. But they did discover power. As you can see, he was using to throw them off. So they kind of know that he has this power. Because all the cars are thrown away, so they all wondering what happened. Is it Daniel, they wonder, or is it Sean? This one I don't like because they're not together. And that's why it's called parting ways, yeah. Terrible. Terrible endings. There's Daniel, showed up. The grandparents. He gets a puppy. Similar to Mushroom. And there's a different drawing. There's a bear instead of wolf. And instead of a drawing, there is a photo of the bus that he stopped going into the lake during a miracle. So that was Daniel, yeah. Daniel and Mom, so looks like he visits Arizona. He gets a car. Now you can drive to Mexico, visit your brother, who you left. You were supposed to go with him. It's very hard to judge the endings, very hard, you know. You want them to be together, but then you also want Daniel to have a better life, so it's very, very hard to judge each ending. So another 6 years after the event, which makes me really hate the first ending where it's 15 years after the event. That means Sean served 15 years. I think they should have stuck with 6 years as well. Not damage everyone so bad. It's just a game, but it's just hurts. So this one is more positive in a way. I mean, yeah, they part ways, but in a way it's okay if Sean is okay. There's Daniel. He's the grandparents' house. he is on a house arrest. So I assume they knew that he has powers because he's on house arrest. So maybe something to do with that. They kind of keep him under control, kind of on a house arrest because of that, perhaps. And he got a letter. He got a letter, and we all know who this letter is from. And he's talking to mom, and she's talking to mom, so that means that things are going good. So it seems like it's okay, although it's still very sad, but you can see Sean is having a fun time, you know, he's like this, you know, taking a selfie, so it seems like it's good. And also, if you have noticed, the music is different as well in certain endings. This music is more kind of happier. Yeah. It still sucks though that they're not together in a way. So I don't think they have an ending where everything is happy, they're together, you know. It's sad. I know eventually everybody part ways in a way, but I personally expected them to have like a good, happy ending of them together, because they really were innocent, you know. I know it has to be realistic, but still though, power is already not realistic, so this one is amazing, yeah. But still very sad. It's still very sad. Sean with Cassidy. So this one, it seems even better because Sean is not alone in Mexico. He's with Cassidy. And I think to get this ending, you'd have to be close with Cassidy in episode 3. I wasn't, so I would not get this ending. Sean with Finn, so you'd have to be close with Finn. I don't know, whoever chose what. I chose not to be very close to them, be like friends. These ones are good endings, yeah. These ones are good. I mean, still they're not together, brothers, and he's on house arrest, but it's not bad. And
So-
this is the ending that I
How
got,
does the story of the Wolf Brothers end?
which many actually did like this ending, but there was still missing a lot of things that we hoped for. This was a very, very hard decision for me because I didn't know which one to
They
choose.
make it to the other side. Be careful.
But this part shocked me. When he got out of the car and just went bonkers, as you will see now. I'm pretty sure you all seen already all these endings.
Just get out of the car. Let your brother.
I was very afraid though. I was also thinking that maybe he'll get shot. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what is gonna be happening. They're really sticking together in this ending. Like really.
What the fuck?
This is the part we all know.
Shoot! Fire!
What the fuck? What are you doing?
So you can see throwing Daniel into the power of what he can actually do. Everyone goes flying through the screen. You can only imagine what it could do. So he's like, yeah, we're going. You were going. Even though I picked like good choices, and this kind of shocked me, this one. But I was relieved, but I also didn't expect. I mean, I expected to be a bit better. You are. Wait a minute. Come here. Where are you going? Where are you
We
going?
can go now.
Go, 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 go. Easy.
Yeah. Let's go home.
So yeah, this is the ending that I got. Oh no, there's still music. This music is still here. I never noticed it. I actually, yeah, I turned episode 2. I turned off licensed music, and then as I got the comment from one of the people saying that I should turn the music on as it gives you a better experience, so that's what I did. But some of the videos don't get copyrighted, and they don't. It's no strike on your channel, so it's okay. The only thing that you can't monetize videos, which for me doesn't matter because I'm only like starting out and I don't have such a big channel to worry about it. So as long as there is no strike against the channel, then it's all good to use the sound. I'd prefer to have music, yeah. That's why I turned it on. So I like this moment because it's like, you know, we did it, we are together, and I like from the start, you know, like two brothers like really, really close. So this ending, yeah. Oh, the kind of feels still off. I mean, don't really know which is the best one. They all have their minuses kind of and pluses. I don't know. But they are in Puerto Lobos like they wanted. Well, Sean, mostly his idea. But the fact, I think he wanted to go there because his dad was talking about it. So I don't know what this is. It looks like a bar and then like kind of hanging out. I don't know. Maybe they hang out here. That's what Sean was drawing. Picture of them. I have no idea who this is. Maybe it's Daniel because it shows like a remote controllers maybe playing. I don't know who they are. It's very hard to understand. But I think that's the surroundings that he drew. Maybe certain people he saw. So this is the house when I was like, oh, no comment. Like the house doesn't look great. So there are the wolves, and I think they're like had enough of this. Like he said, actually, if you remember, I don't remember which episode, but they were talking between, don't really remember which episode it was, but he said we're going to Mexico. Oh, that was after actually they, from their grandparents, when they had to go leave, and they were sitting on a rock, and he said, I hope Chris is okay, because Chris got hit by a car in my game. Jesus, at least he lived. And then he was like, we go to Mexico, we can be who we want, no one will tell us what to do. And I think that's the moment where you remember it. They're like, you know, no one tells them anything. something is happening here. It actually said that gang house got raided by another, so some kind of trouble there, but nothing Daniel can't handle. And I love that, Dia's repair shop. That means they opened the repair shop in their name, and it's probably mostly the name of their father, you know, so this one is good. Now, in my ending, we had souvenirs on the window. So these were the collections that teddy that we bought in a market for Daniel. And then there was that wolf sculpture as well. So they were on the window. That's what we had. In here, we only have this thingy. Bridge or something, not sure. But we had sculpture. Souvenirs. So even though after 6 years, the house is a bit messy, and especially them having money, you would expect that the house can be renovated. Maybe they will, I don't know. But the repair shop is cool because that's what their dad was doing, repairing cars, so they kind of follow it. And as I believe that's Sean's bracelet, he was wearing it, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure in the early episode of the show. I couldn't believe that's Daniel first. And he has mushrooms bandana on his wrist. And he's reading through journal. Everything that was recorded through their journey. Know what to say. Fucking road. Go back. No, we got to keep moving. That's their journey. So he's looking through everything they've been through. And there's Sean. It really looks like dad, like their dad. And this moment I thought it was police. I was like, ah. But it's just some kind of criminal. So you can see by Sean how confident he looks. He believes in Daniel's power, that he'll be able to save them both. Especially here, he's like, well, like they're so confident that they're able to protect each other. Well, mostly Daniel. They're like, the fuck out of here. But you can still see that Sean is still like a father figure for Daniel, even though they're not having the life that they would have had going to school and stuff like that. Like, we don't actually know if Daniel is going to school or not. It didn't show. But as him being 16, I presume he'll be going to school. Or maybe not. They probably wouldn't, because no passports, I think, nothing. That's so in a way they made it, because they were innocent, but they're still not like free. They still be known as criminals back in America, so I guess friends and family will have to visit them. I don't know. It kind of leaves you with that thought.